Donavon Frankenreiter.
Hello, sir.
It's Madison. You know, I was at the Sanuk store and I saw you, and I got some shoes just because of you.
That's cool. Right on.
So, first of all, when did you start surfing?
I started surfing at the age of 10. I got my first surfboard, but before that I was kind of standing up on whatever I could possibly get my hands on, boogie boards, rafts, anything. But my first surfboard came at the age of 10.
And when did you start playing guitar?
The age of 16. I was on a surf trip and saw one leaning up against a guy's couch and picked it up. That was like the first time I really picked up an instrument, and then he taught me a couple of chords, and yeah, that was it. Fell in love with music.
So when did you realize you could sing? Because it's
I never
one thing,
have.
it's a whole, but here, this is an interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a whole different thing to pick up a guitar and play it. It's another thing to realize you can actually create a voice that comes out of your body.
I never really knew I could sing. I mean, I think it was one of those things where I kind of figured this eventually I should start writing my own songs and singing them if I can, and so I tried, and my wife really encouraged me to do it. When I met her, the time I met her, it was during the time I was kind of transitioning and try something new, and she told me, write your own songs and sing me one, and I'm like, I could never do that, and so it kind of really started me to try to go for it, and I feel like I'm still learning, how to sing.
Well, your songs make people feel good, and I think that ability to convey an emotion is what a lot of songwriters wish they could do on a regular basis. You have an ability to do it pretty much all the time. Do you connect the surfing with the music?
I do. I mean, surfing to me is, it's like, makes me feel so good, and it's such a beautiful thing to do, and I really enjoy it. So I feel like there's a lot of similarities in like what I do with surfing and music. If I'm feeling, kind of down and out or not feeling that good, if I hit the water, I feel like everything's beautiful and everything's great. And same with music. If I picked the guitar up, I couldn't imagine leaning into like a really negative song or singing about, horrible stuff. I have so much fun. It's sort of like a celebration. I just want to have fun and sing about fun, positive things.
We're with Donavon Frankenreiter. Now, how many kids do you have now?
I have 2 kids. Hendrix is 10 and Ozzy's 6. And, they both surf. They both love surfing.
They're growing up fast. I was talking to Rob Machado, and he said that his parents first took him to the beach. He was scared to death of the water and wouldn't go in it. And he said he wasn't forced to do it. He said, eventually I saw them having fun, and I'm sitting in the sand. I'm like, oh, well, I better go do this if I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, my kids have been, they've been having a blast. I remember they couldn't even swim, and I was kind of just setting them on the surfboard, pushing them in the little ones, and floaties and goggles and the whole deal. Before they could even swim, they've been up surfing. But I think they were around the water so much. They love it. They love just being in the water.
So Father's Day is coming up. Would you have any Father's Day advice for your kids?
Father's Day advice? Just remember to call your father. I mean, it'd be good to hear from your kids when they get older on Father's Day, just to let them know that you love them and, thank you for being their father or whatever. I don't know. I'm working that day, so I'm on the road.
Wow.
I won't even be home, but I don't think I've been home for a Father's Day or a Mother's Day or a birthday in years. But,
oh, my gosh. No guilt there, I hope. So,
yeah.
Hey, did your dad ever give you some really good Father's Day advice?
I think if anything, I learned from the way that he kind of raised me. He just kind of pushed me in directions that he felt that I really, enjoyed what I was doing. He was very supportive in everything that I was allowed to do. And, it was kind of ironic in the family I grew up in. Nobody in our family ever surfed, and nobody in our family ever played music. So the two things that I really was drawn to want to do, he kind of, just gave me all the support he possibly could. And I instill that in my children, as much as I can. Whatever direction they feel like they're going, I just want to support them and let them do whatever it is possible that they want to do or that they can do. I think that's the greatest thing that you can do as a father.
Now, of all the people you've surfed with, I know you've surfed with a bunch of different musicians, because you and I have talked about that before, but who is the best musician that you've ever surfed with?
Whew, I don't know. That's difficult. I don't think I've ever shared waves with Eddie Vedder, but, he's one of my idols, as a musician. He's incredible. And, I was surfing in Australia one day, and I've always wanted to meet Kurt Hammett from the guitar player Metallica, and I never did. And we kind of crossed paths a couple times and phone numbers and everything. But the one time I actually did meet him when he was dropping in on a wave, hey, look how I'm going. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Kurt. And it was, so he was out surfing and ripping. So, I mean, it's amazing to see these musicians that are just phenomenal, incredible artists that I look up to, then, dropping in on waves and ripping. It's such a great, incredible thing. Perry Farrell's a great surfer. Ben Harper likes to catch waves, and G Love. And, I mean, all these guys, when you see them in the water, it's like, such a great time, such a cool thing to see them in a different arena, a different stage.
Do you ever get the feeling that if they had applied themselves on the board, they would have been just as good as they are in their music career?
I think so. I think some of those guys for sure. I mean, I think at a certain degree, there's like sort of, there is a lot of raw talent, though, I think, in surfing, like, I feel a lot of people can surf and enjoy themselves and have a great time, but there's something special, like a gift, I think, that was given to guys like Machado and, the Irons brothers and Kelly Slater and Joel Parkinson. There's a whole crew of guys that are kind of, there's millions and millions of people that surf, but there's a few that can kind of break through the ranks and do this, for a living. But I don't know. Those guys really blew my mind how they were charging and going for it. So I'm sure they could do something on some level.
Okay, so I have this question I like to ask people, and so I want you to put yourself in this mental state. You're in a diner in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the night, and the moon is rising up over the mountains. It's just you in the diner, and in your pocket is a quarter. That's a magic quarter that'll play anything you want out of the jukebox that's there. So you can pick any song you ever heard. What would you pick?
Maybe I'd pick a Bob Dylan song called Standing at the Doorway. It's off of a record called Time Out of Mind. I love that song, and it's real long, so I'd get my quarter's worth.
Hey, Donovan, thank you for calling us. You have a great morning, and tell your
All
wife
right.
and kids hi.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I'll come by the station and see you guys. I'd love to, and it's a good way to kick off International Surf Day on the 20th, and then we'll be in San Diego surfing and having a blast at the Belly Up those 2 days after that.